Hey guys, welcome to my Avengers Endgame spoiler review. This is going to be absolutely packed with spoilers. Now, the biggest reason why Endgame was such a epic movie is because one, in the trailers, they only showed as much as around about 20 minutes into the film, but actually they showed a little bit more than that. It wasn't just 20 minutes into the film, it was actually a bit more than that. But they showed just pieces of the movie with stuff edited out of it, so it looked like it was just the beginning of the film. Just letting you know, okay? So this is directed by the Russo brothers, and it has the biggest slew of cast that I'm not even going to get into, because if you haven't seen it already, then go and check it out. So I literally came back I came back this afternoon from seeing technically it's the final one, technically. Now, it was only showing at I believe two or three cinemas where I am in Australia, and that was it. Yeah, so it's literally, some countries didn't even get this. Some countries literally, they just were like, yeah, no, we're not even releasing it there. I was very, very, very fortunate to get it. So this version of the movie that I saw has been re-released with extended bonus. I would say 3 credit scenes. One was a cameo, a nice salute, and We Love You 3000 to Stan Lee, and the others was credit scenes. Now, I'll go into them at the end of this review, but before I do, I want to tell you I want to give you my thoughts on this movie and some scenes and stuff like that, what I thought about it, and we'll go into it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. It actually doesn't start with the opening title of the movie. The film just starts. So the movie literally just starts, and it starts with Barton / Hawkeye. Now, I understand why people say this, because it's from the comics, but not once in this movie is he referred to as Ronin. That I believe. I could be wrong, but I don't believe it. So in the pop vinyls, his name is actually Ronin, which is Hawkeye, but I didn't hear, again, I've seen the movie 4 times now. This was my 4th screening in the cinema, and I didn't hear anyone refer to him as Ronin. So I will not be referring to him as Ronin. I will be referring to him as Hawkeye, okay, even though he may not be whatever. So he comes back, he's the opening, and he's trying to train his daughter how to become another Hawkeye, right? And so he's training her and whatever, and then he turns around to have a conversation with his wife. You hear this like very, 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 very faint thunder sound in the background. It's extremely faint thunder sound in the background, and then all of a sudden he turns around and his daughter's not there. She's gone. And in front of her, the camera pans back like that, and in front of him is literally dust going up, and she's gone. She's gone. Okay? And so he's looking at her and whatever, and it's looking around, whatever. And then all of a sudden he looks over to his wife, and they're gone. And so then the music starts, and the Marvel, comes up, whatever. And then, his entire family disappears from Thanos' snap. That's the opening of Avengers Endgame. So we cut to Nebula and Iron Man in their ship that they went out to space with to go on the planet and try to kill Thanos in Avengers Infinity War. And they're literally out in the middle of space. They're floating until they die. Literally, they've got nothing left. They're gone. I'm not going to go through this scene by scene, guys. I'm just going to tell you a couple of things that happen. And then they have this really funny flicking game where they got to flick this thing, and Gamora's really anxious and she wants to win, and stuff like that. It's really, really funny. There are so many. This movie is an epic epic masterpiece. There are so many incredibly brilliant, mind-blowingly phenomenal. This is a huge movie, guys. This is a ginormous movie. I kind of wish now, obviously, if you follow my channel, you know that I've already done an Avengers Endgame movie review. Now, I didn't have this. I didn't have the effects that I do back then. Now I do. That's why I'm glad that I'm doing this again, because the CGI in this movie, guys, is absolutely impeccable. It is just incredible. Like, it's groundbreaking CGI. It is just so much fun. It's incredible. It's full on. This movie is so worth watching. Yes, it is a 3-hour movie, but it is a 3-hour movie to the point where you don't want it to stop, because it is just so incredible. The storyline of this movie, the biggest part of the storyline that I loved more than anything about this movie is the fact of how consistency the storyline flows. Now, when you watch this movie, you're like, oh man, 3 hours long, that is such a long movie. But once you get going, it just continually flows after flow after flow, and it's really, really, just every scene is like, oh, what's going to happen next? Oh, what's going to happen next? Like, the writers of this movie knew exactly what they were doing. Now, I was going to jump ahead to say this at the end of the review, but I'll say it now. Guys, in my personal opinion, this movie will not make sense to you if you have not seen every other movie. Okay? It won't make sense to you unless you have watched every other movie. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the posters behind me of every other movie. So what I might do, guys, is I might actually just stand here. Okay, and hopefully the posters are here for every other MCU movie. Okay, now I just really, I really do encourage you all to go and watch all the other movies, and the reason why is because they just make more sense to this movie. Like, it's just one of those movies, guys. It really is one of those movies. This movie has incredible redemption. It's got the most amazing redemption. Like, at the end of this movie, you're just like, yes, the good guys won. But the good guys win with a ginormous cost. They lose their biggest player. I'll get to that at the end, okay? And unfortunately, this is personally where I come into it and think, I get it, but I wasn't a fan of it, right? I get it, but I wasn't a fan of it. Time travel. They use time travel in this movie, guys, and it's amazing how they do it because of what they have to do to try and get to where they have to go. But to me, it's like, okay, well, you know, it's almost like, well, we can't pull anything out of the rabbit, any more tricks out of the hat now. Okay, time travel, that's the easiest way to go. Do you know what I mean? Not bad, just saying that it's like, it would be interesting to see if they went another way with it. Now, Hulk/Bruce Banner. Hulk is Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner is Hulk in this movie, and he's completely CGI. Completely CGI. The entire character is CGI, and it is so well done. If you've seen Avengers Infinity War, it's as good as Thanos. Seriously, if not probably better, because it is so incredibly well done. Now, when Iron Man comes back to Earth, he's really when you see him at the start of the film, you know, with Nebula in the ship and they come back to Earth, he's really skinny, like super skinny and really sick, like fully malnourished. So sad. It's like, oh man, and he's really angry. He's really angry. Not only did he lose, but he's angry at Captain America because, you know, he told him in the past, you know, he told him what was going to happen and stuff like that, and Cap didn't listen to him, and so, you know, this is the outcome of, you know, unfortunate outcome of it, you know. What I want to talk about, a lot. Okay, there's a few things that aren't in the trailers that they actually CGI'd out of the trailer, so you would think that that it's not in the film, right? But it actually was in the film. They just didn't put it in their trailer visually. Pepper Potts was one of them. When the camera pans down like this, and the guys are coming towards the ship, the camera pans down as like 1, 2, and there's a gap, and then another person. Pepper Potts is standing right there. Another one is Tony Stark is actually skinny, and in the trailer he's just normal size. Okay, so that was a misdirect. They didn't want you to see that. Another scene was when Rocket Raccoon opens the door and goes inside where he's going, but he's actually going to meet Thor for the first time. He's actually going as he walks in. Sorry, Hulk. Bruce Banner is behind him, and so they've CGI'd that out. They didn't include that. When Ant-Man comes back from the quantum realm in this movie, because in Ant-Man and the Wasp, he gets, if you haven't seen that, at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, he's in the quantum realm. He goes in there. Now, in the quantum realm, 5 minutes is pretty much 5 hours, or something like that, or 5 years is 5 hours. Yeah, 5 years is 5 hours, so it's not long at all. So he goes into the quantum realm, and everyone outside who's taking care of him outside to bring him back out has been snapped away by Thanos' snap. So he's still in there. Now in Avengers Endgame, his van is in this holding container place. I don't know what you call it. The rat literally crawls over the controllers and then sets off the quantum realm machine and spits Ant-Man back out. Okay, so he's back now 5 years later. Now in this movie it literally says 5 years later. Okay, so Thor cuts off Thanos' head 5 years later, and the world is just desolate, dried up, dead. Like, it's pretty sad. It's gloom. It's pretty really everyone is in mourning. Actually, in fact, now that I think about it, the only one that, yes, he's in mourning, but he's probably the least expressive about it compared to the rest of them. If I'm gonna really dive into it, is Captain America. He was kind of, in my opinion, he was sad, and he was going to groups and therapy sessions and stuff like that, but he wasn't as sad. Oh, and one of the Russo brothers has a cameo in this movie, and he's in the therapist session as well with Captain America. One of the things I want to quickly say before I go on, guys, is the person that really surprised me more than anything else in this entire movie, that really blew me away, was Captain Marvel. She is barely in this movie. And I remember the first time I watched this movie in cinema, I remember turning to a friend of mine that I saw it with, and I literally said to him, we said at almost the same time, where's Captain Marvel? She's barely in this movie at all, guys, and that's because she was out filming the other movies. So she's, the little snippets that she's in this movie, yeah, that's literally all that she was on scene for. Now, I want to tell you about a huge, massive, and I love it. I love the fact that I can hear it, and it blows me away. If I get a chance, I'm going to play the clip right now. If you can hear in this scene right here, guys, if you can hear it, there is a audible voice in the background, and people reckon that if you can hear it, you can hear it, but you can't, it's not really there, blah, blah, blah. I can hear it crystal clear. I can hear it crystal clear. And it says, I have telepathy. And I heard it. Oh my gosh, I lost my marbles over it. I thought it was just and again, every time I've watched it since then, I've heard it every time. Crystal clear. Crystal clear. Now, it may not be there, but I heard it every single time. Basically, when this movie really gets into it, they basically the mission is for them to, go back in time. As I said, there's time travel in this movie, so they go back in time to collect the soul stones. Okay, the stones, all the stone, not just the soul stones, not just the soul stone, but all the stones. So they go back in time and they collect the stones, and then that's the movie. Like, that's the movie, is them basically correcting what happened, and then they want to, basically redo the snap and go back in time and collect the stones, and then they win. This is literally a build up to every single one of the movies, like every single one of them. This is literally the end movie, but it's not the end movie, because after this that comes out tomorrow is Spider-Man Far From Home, and I'll be seeing that first thing tomorrow morning, and I'll give my review tomorrow night. But that's actually technically the end of all the phases, and obviously they'll move on from there depending on where they go. The 1 hour mark that is left of this movie, so 1 hour and then it's over, is literally the greatest fanboy salute movie moment of this entire film. Like, literally. It's when all the characters come in and they battle everything, and it is mammoth. Doctor Strange tells Iron Man that they have there's so many different scenarios to the movie, and only one of them they win. Only one of them. And so they're in the battle, and Thanos is about to win, and then Iron Man looks at Doctor Strange, and he literally just holds up one finger to say, "This is the only one we win." And then obviously Iron Man grabs the gauntlet back on him, puts it on his hand. I am Iron Man. Snaps his fingers, and then all of them get snapped away, and that's a pretty epic moment. And now I want to tell you about the beautiful, incredibly, awesomely lovely, fabulous post-credit scene of this movie, guys. This is so lovely. So as you know, Stan Lee has passed away. So incredibly sad. So sad. So Stan Lee's gone. And for the Russo brothers to say thank you for everything, it comes up, "We love you 3000." And then it is literally a behind the scenes images and videos of Stan Lee behind the scenes of not all the Marvel movies, but a lot of them. All interactions with the cast and all that sort of stuff, and it is so beautiful. Then they go to, one of the Russo brothers comes back on and says, "Hey, so there was a couple of scenes in this movie that we had to take out, and yes, this movie was longer, but we had to take the scene out." And it's basically Hulk saving people from this 41-story building, comes down, and then his phone rings, and "You got Hulk," or whatever. And then the scene after that is, I feel like it's a scene that's taken out of Spider-Man Far From Home, but it's actually one of the shots that you see in the trailer. Mysterio, and he comes out, and Nick Fury and Aja Romanoff comes out. They've drived into this place that looks like it's been destroyed from some weather thing with a face, which is what Nick Fury says. And then all of a sudden Mysterio appears, and he's like, "You don't want a part of this," and zaps these blue lasers out of his hands, and then all of a sudden he fights the big monster that's there, and that's the end credit scene. And I was so happy with that because I was really impressed with that. And maybe it's a deleted scene. It's very highly possible that it's a deleted scene, and maybe it's not in Spider-Man Far From Home. But if it's not, then now I've seen it, so I'm really stoked about that. I really appreciate you watching this one. Seriously, I value it so much. I really hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed filming this for you guys. I really hope you enjoyed the background. I hope I made it a little bit more spectacularly fun for you guys to watch. Thank you so much for all my subscribers for subscribing to my channel. I really value and appreciate it so much. My next movie review will be Spider-Man Far From Home, and if you haven't, please subscribe. If you like it, please like it, subscribe. You know what to do, guys. The internet's been around long enough for you to know what to do. Take care. Until my next review, you take care of yourselves. Peace out. A-Town down.